Hey, what's happening, guys? Thanks for tuning into a live stream tonight with me, the Rustbelt mechanic. Tonight, we're going to be talking to you guys just a little bit about shop safety. Now, whether you guys follow this or not, we're going to talk about a little bit of the, hey, you guys really should do this, and the, hey, that's probably a law kind of thing, and it really needs to be done. But the differences in those are, we'll see who actually follows shop safety guidelines and who does not. So how is everybody doing this weekend? We'll wait for a couple of people to roll a stroll on up in here. I know it's been kind of a long weekend for everybody. That is a good thing, actually, being how it's a nice holiday weekend. And I tell you what, here in Ohio, it has been a toasty one. It hit like 84 degrees in Ohio. That's pretty darn toasty. So it's been a nice one. We spent the day today chilling out by the pool with the family. It was nice being able to hang out with the friends, family, get this whole COVID thing into the past, and we'll talk about that some tonight too. Hopefully everybody is getting back to some kind of a normalcy, at least with how their shops are kind of running and everything. What's up, Kevin? Josh, Everyday Fleet Tech, Mr. Saltiness in here himself, and McBake. Hey, what's happening, buddy? The one who works on the golfing carts. Hellman Dollar Auto Diagnostics, what's up, buddy? Spent the day cleaning fuel lines, doing some Cummins work. I think I saw on that one. That was a pretty cool one. Man, 30 people in here. Awesome. Yes, all is good here. Oh no, Ryan, your shop's still closed? We have actually started picking up quite a bit in our shop. We've gotten our full staff back to, pretty much full capacity, doing the just full capacity hours on each one of our techs on top of that. So that's been something really nice. Yeah, everybody, put the thumbs up. Let's see them. Yeah, we are back to full capacity. We are taking some precautions and everything, as a lot of shops are, and a lot of shops should be as well, at least to say, save face with the governor and everything here in Ohio, who is still pretty on the strict side and everything. So, yep, tomorrow will be 2 months since you've worked. Oh, man, I don't think I could handle that. Not doing any kind of work and stuff on cars for that long. Now, I've been working on my cheap caddy for like 2 months now, and that seemed like forever. So, not doing any kind of work like that kind of stuff for 2 months, I'm pretty sure I would go crazy. What's up, Steven? Hopefully you and your family are doing good too up in New York. And no kissing the customers. That's exactly right. Excuse me. So anyways, tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about shop safety. Now, whether you guys follow it or not, there are a couple of things that at least I think I wanted to bring up to you tonight to be able to kind of bring up and chat about, see who does what, where, and who thinks that what portion of the safety guidelines, whether they are rules or not in your dealership, are a good thing or should be a requirement. First thing, obviously, the elephant in the room right now is going to be the whole COVID-19 thing. That thing is obviously sweeping through the U.S., so a lot of shops are taking a lot of extra steps to keep both of their technicians fully safe, as well as all of their customers also. Right now, we are having all kinds of stuff going on with this one, and our dealership actually takes a lot of time and effort into protecting everything that we do. So per Chrysler's recommendations or their requirements for the dealership, our area for the seating and everything has a spread out atmosphere. So instead of having like 6 or 8 chairs kind of sit in, we have really nice comfy chairs and everything in there, but they're all spread out. Like they're like 10 feet apart from each other. It is way spread out in there, I tell you what. And so they've got everybody spread out. They don't like to recommend that people have waiters. So they recommend that if people want to have things done, especially that are going to take a couple hours, they recommend to them to have them put on and dropped off and have somebody come pick them up instead of having somebody sit around for a couple hours coughing and filling up the waiting room with whatever germs they may or may not have. So we have that one. And then we also have our customers leave their vehicles outside of the shop. When a customer drops something off, the service writers or manager are going out to those cars. At that point, they're getting in and they are sanitizing the majority of the surfaces that the technicians are going to be touching. They go out with their sanitation cloth, their spray and everything, and they tell the customer that they're going to do this ahead of time, that they're going to wipe down the door handles, so we're going to wipe down the door panel, the armrest, the shifter, the steering wheel. They're going to wipe down any kind of controls and knobs that need to be pressed, as well as the side of the seat and the front lever right there. Can't hear me. Can people hear me? Maybe. Hopefully you can. Everybody let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Cool. So anyways, we're cleaning off all of those surfaces for the technicians and the customer. After that, we are putting a cover onto all of the seats, and we're also putting a cover onto the steering wheel. We tell the customers, hey, we're cleaning all these surfaces off. Everything that we do and touch is going to be put through it and cleaned off and sanitized after the technician is done as well. And then we also have those coverings that we'll take off as soon as the technician gets out of the vehicle for us. So that is both for the technician and for the customers, I guess, just frame of mind, just keeping, an extra little bit for them, keeping them more comfortable with what everything is going on right now. That helps a lot for it. And then on top of that, just the technicians in general, we're giving them all the PPE and everything that they really need in the shop. We have a couple of masks sitting in there. We also have a ton of gloves. Right when this thing started, we stocked up on gloves like nobody's business. So we have a ton of those. So anytime you are inside somebody's vehicle and you're putting stuff around where everyone touches and everything, a lot of our guys are wearing gloves. If you don't, that's your own recommendation kind of thing. We have those PPE things there for the technicians to be able to use and handle if they so choose. What's up, Mike Swindell? Sam's Garage coming in here and everything. Just leave cars parked in the sun for an hour. That one will do. There we go. Sorry, thirsty from today. It's been a scorcher. Yeah, so that's what our shop specifically is doing for the whole shop safety in the way of COVID-19 stuff. Are your guys' shops seeing the same thing? Are you guys following a lot of these guidelines? I know there's going to be a lot of differences between the states that you guys are in, because there's a whole lot of differences right now in what the state governors are recommending or requiring as law for customers or some of these shops to be able to work. But exactly like Barely Legal Garage said, it's always better to be safe than sorry. It's always an offered thing to our technicians. It is not a requirement to wear masks or anything, but all of the equipment is there for them to be able to do that one. Temperatures being measured before you start work in the shop. That one's more than I've heard. You learned to change out motor mounts after watching the video. That was a good one. That was a fun one. That was nice because that one didn't cost very much and it made a huge difference. That Cadillac, if you guys haven't seen that video, that thing was shaking like crazy before I put those motor mounts in. So that made a huge difference there. Matt Palmer says he's at an independent shop in South Dakota. We have no guidelines. We aren't doing much because there aren't any cases in our area. Don't think the owner wants to do anything crazy. We don't have very many cases in our area either. I think within the surrounding 3 big cities, we have like 16 cases and like 1 death, something like that. Yeah. What's up, Justin ATV in the house? Merry middle of spring-ish, summer, Christmas? Yes, that's the one. You get COVID-19 scan when you go into work. Masks are required in common areas. I see that one. Yeah, our owner said that if it was going to be a requirement to have masks in public areas, he was going to supply them for the technicians as well as the sales staff as well. But it did not go to that effect to where our governor would require that one as a law. Sam's Garage says he was out riding his GSX all day. Tell you what, I went out in the side-by-side quite a bit today also. Every chance I got today, that's where I went. Our family, we wanted something picked up for lunch, went and got that. Had to go out and grab something else from the store, from Home Depot, went and got that. And then dinner, everyone's like, hey, sushi sounds really good. So I'm like, yep, I'll go get that one. No problem. So scanned it across town and went and picked that one up too. Oh, yeah, definitely. Get tested both with blood and nasal tests for work. They're making us wear masks and you're using a respirator instead. Oh, those masks, they don't do much of anything. Plus, they are so hard to breathe out of. I know a lot of what the families around here were talking about for the next school year for the children. They were talking about having to have our kids wearing cloth masks or some kind of mask during their school year pretty much the whole time, anytime they're in public areas or anything like that. And I tell you what, right now, it is super hard for these kids to do just about anything, let alone wear masks. And another thing, if you're expecting these children to wear masks for upwards of 7-8 hours a day, have you guys tried to wear masks for that long? We tried. When it went into that full scare mode and everybody was wearing masks, we tried it. Yeah, I can't do it. How hard it is to breathe through one of those masks, especially in a warm summer day that's coming up and in the fall, late August, early September. Yeah. That'll be a hard one to do for anybody, let alone children. That'll be a hard one, definitely. Cool. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that people are doing right now to try to stay safe for the whole COVID thing. So it's cool to see a lot of the differences across the industry, but it's also cool to see that a lot of guys are taking some kind of accountability for what's going on right now with it, everything, too. All right, so let's get into the next part of some kind of safety for your shop. The next one that I wanted to talk about was eye safety. That is the biggest, I guess, not so much taboo thing, but it's one of those things where you really should do it. And everybody says, like, if you ask them, hey, what's the one safety thing that should be done in every single shop? And everybody says safety glasses should be done. But what is the actual percentage of technicians who wear safety glasses in and throughout their entire day? I tell you, this guy is not one of them. You should definitely, have that recommendation and having the stuff there for you guys. But yeah, I should probably wear safety glasses a lot more than I do, but I definitely do not. I think it's South Main Auto. Eric, he always refers to them as safety squints. You're up there not welding, but grinding on something, or you're putting something up above you, and obviously rust coming down everywhere. You got your safety squints. You're just like, all right, I'm good. I can see just barely, just through the crust of my eyes. I mean, if you wear normal glasses, cool, right there. Safety glasses especially. So the times that I actually do wear safety glasses, anytime I'm working under severely rusty vehicles. Most Fords in Ohio, that's just one of those things. You might as well put on some safety glasses when you're working underneath of them, because I've seen it happen. Captain Ron actually got some rust into his eye. It bugged him for a couple of weeks now. He ended up getting it out, but just that, I guess, little scarring, I guess what it would be to that effect, actually just damaged and hurt his eyes for quite some time. So that is definitely no fun. Anytime I get out a grinding tool, a cutting or grinding tool, my Milwaukee grinder or the straight grinder, any kind of die grinders, bits, drills, anytime I'm drilling something either, anytime I'm using a wire wheel, a wire brush, anything like that, where something is spinning, throwing things out at, whatever speed, it is definitely a recommended thing. And I always tell the students that are underneath me that they definitely should look into doing that one. And they are definitely going to be wearing them while they are under my supervision, at least. Take it from a person who scratched both corneas. Wear the safety glasses. Move safety glasses have cheaters built in. There you go. No, I agree. They bother me. A lot of the safety glasses, just how, I guess, I don't know how my head or my eyes are just contoured or whatever, that the glasses like perfectly contour to them. And it doesn't matter if you get the non-fogging type or whatever, they always end up getting condensation to them, and they don't work very well. And I'm somebody who wears glasses all the time. Like I'll wear my glasses literally all the time, and safety glasses for some reason just bother me. While talking about eyes, don't forget to keep the bench grinder shields. Yep. Grinder shields, the first thing that is taken off of most grinders when they are installed and at the shop, unfortunately. However, a lot of the times I will, the ones that I use at least, I've got one over by the bench where me and Captain Ron work that has both a buffing wheel and a grinding side to it. And those both still have their shields to them, because I've seen it before. If you guys have not seen it or experienced somebody getting one of those pieces of a wire wheel lodged in their face or their eye, it is not a pretty thing to see. It is horrendous. It is not cool at all. So definitely that's why I recommend, at least to my students, to be wearing their safety glasses. Yeah, exactly. It's not a matter of if, but when it's going to happen. I agree, Sam. I should take more time to find the glasses that fit. I guess if they fit my face better and if they worked better for me, I would think that I would probably wear them more often to that extent, but I don't know. That's just kind of the experience that I've had with them. Yeah. Cool. So that's safety glasses. Let's jump on down to the next section, which is going to be down towards the total opposite end of the body and footwear. Now that one, I do realize that is going to differ greatly between the kind of areas that you guys are working in, whether you're working in heavy machinery, big diesels, whether you're working in big shops, or you're working just on small cars. It's definitely going to differ in what your employer requires for you guys to wear. I know a lot of the local shops around here that have the heavy machinery, you're working on big things, caterpillars, forklifts, they do require steel-toed boots. Our dealership, that is definitely not a requirement. I have worn steel-toed boots once or twice, and that was earlier on, just because I thought that, working in the shop, I wanted to have that extra bit of safety. But I always found that these steel-toed boots were something that was, I guess, more uncomfortable in the kind of boots that I wore. And that's also something that we can kind of throw into the whole conversation on boots, is what you guys prefer as boots. Because my go-to that I always went to, which was Coastal boot through Snap-on, they got rid of the one boot that I absolutely loved, and I don't know what kind of boot that I'm wanting to go to next. I cannot find one that I really like yet. So I'm still kind of out looking. Had one of those wires go through your jeans and poking the ball sack. Oh, that is bad. That is very, very bad. Now I've tried Redback boots. I've tried Wolverines. That's the cheap Walmart brand. I've tried what was the third one? The Leather something country, Leatherman something. It was something from Gander Mountain when I picked it up. Tried one of those. Those really didn't last very long, even though they were, a pretty decently recommended boot from somebody else. I have not tried Timberlands. Definitely haven't tried Rocky Mountains. Crocs, if you're Zephiel, then he definitely is all about them Crocs. What color Crocs, though, Zephiel? I mean, is it neon green, or you go more of the camo Crocs? I could see you just wearing one of those. See you coming up with a set of camo Crocs. That would be a good one. Oh, pink Crocs. There you go. So the ones that I had used before, they were from Coastal Boot, and they were through Snap-on. They were they called them their brake pad. I don't like tall boots. I don't like anything above my ankles. So I don't like even the mid-length or the tall-length boots. I like to have a shorter boot. I'm not a big fan of having a tennis shoe style one. So I actually do like boots. I just don't like boots that I have to lace all the way up and they're tall, and I don't know. I just don't like them. Not a big fan. Haven't been a fan of those for a while. 511 Tactical. That's another one I'm going to try. Keep these coming, guys, because I got to look through all of these. So keep on putting them in the comments, and I'm going to actually go back through, and I'm going to look through any of these. I'm going to have to try that. A couple of guys are shopwear Crocs. Slip-on Redbacks. I guess Redbacks it's kind of a general term because Redbacks do have quite a few different boots that they have available. So I might have to look into that again. Aerosols, shop rags, and stuff. And that was going to be the next thing that I'm going to get to Everyday Fleet Tech. We're going to go into talking about your MSDS sheets, whether you guys have those on file. I know pretty much every single chemical that you have in the shop, every single tool or piece of equipment that you guys use also really should have some kind of a material data safety sheet to them. So they should have that all on file, and it should all be accessible to either, I guess, the shop, any of the mechanics, technicians, any of the employees to be able to see or read at any time. It should also be within whatever area, just in case somebody does have an issue with whatever chemicals are in the shop. So it's good to see if these shops actually have them available. But now, after the shop gets into, okay, that's a requirement. We had OSHA come in and they said we didn't have this, we didn't have that or anything, but where is it now? So they required it when they came in. Say that was 2 years ago. Is anybody actually going back through and updating those MSDS sheets as you guys get new or different chemicals into the shop? And that's anything that the parts department puts through, anything the technicians are using, the brake clean that comes in, even if it's in 55-gallon drums, the washer fluid that comes in, you're supposed to have that. How many shops these days have eye wash stations? Definitely a requirement of some kind. Here in Ohio, you don't have to have a plumbed one, but you do have to have some dedicated eye wash station with the eye wash bottle to that, even though it is a recommendation to have one of the ones that are plumbed that have the sink, is the way I'm pretty sure it is here in Ohio. And then on top of that, the safety that you guys are running with all these different chemicals in the shop. Are you following what they really tell you to do with, are you wearing gloves for this? It says you recommend, is a requirement that you wear eye protection when using these chemicals. What pitman arm puller would you recommend for Dodge 2500, 3500 trucks? Unfortunately, I can't tell you a whole lot on that one other than I use our factory one that we have in our special tools list, which is a Miller special tool. I don't have to buy one of those because we have one sitting in our special tools line. So I'm not really a whole big help on that one. I have not purchased one of those big fork pitman arm pullers for the gearboxes. They aren't required to be kept on paper anymore. It was something here recently that I want to say that they at least had to have some kind of a station or booklet that was simple enough to be able to get to lead to the online information where everything was at. The yellow triangle with the California cancer warnings. That is literally on anything and everything that is available for sale in California. It has to have that. Thankfully, being a federally regulated industry, MSDs and general work safety is handled by the safety department, who goes through all checks and that stuff. That is a nice thing to be able to actually have a department that keeps up on that for you. Us, pretty much, we have our service manager is the one who is in charge of keeping all of that and keeping all of that updated. One of the best things, and it was a big unfortunate thing that happened at our dealership. Our dealership actually had a fire. It's been some time ago. I want to say it's been like 6-7 years ago. We had a big fire. None of the shop was totally destroyed or anything like that. We had a lot of soot damage, smoke damage, and everything to a lot of our tools, but nothing was heat damage. Nothing was totally destroyed. Everything was fine and worked. It was just all covered in soot and had some corrosion to it. Well, prior to that happening, we had a couple of OSHA issues with the shop that we had. One of the things was exhaust ports. So exhaust ports were something very bad, and we did not have exhaust ports that worked. What started the fire? We had an electrical fire start in a van that was parked in the detail part of the building. So our detail shop was right in the middle of the entire dealership. So an electrical fire started, I believe it was the Tipham area of this caravan, went up next to some wall that was right there next to it, and caught fire from the middle of the building and started working out. Thankfully, it was at like 9 o'clock at night, which was an odd time and everything to that one. But it was something hard for the dealership to go through, but we ended up leveling the whole building out, and that was a good thing because since the building was then to be pretty much built brand new, it had to meet a whole lot of different regulations and requirements through Chrysler. So they had to put in a whole bunch more things that they were grandfathered into before, and now they had to come into and put all these new fancy things that were absolutely required by Chrysler. Like they had to have this fancy glass mirrored arch entrance way and everything like that. But yeah, that's and to get it wasn't by a person though. This van that caught fire, it was one that was traded in like 3 days prior to. So it had been sitting outside for a couple of days, and the detail garage part of stuff brought it in to do the detail on, and it caught fire after work, and there was nobody in the building. The alarms were all checked. There had been no entry, so there had been nobody into the building for like 3.5 hours or anything like that. Shoes for crews. That's a good one. Yep. So yeah, so this caught fire, and then our building was forced to be updated with a lot more safety requirements and regulations. Thankfully, we ended up getting newer and better lights. I think that Chrysler has a lighting requirement for both their showroom, parts department, and shop. So we had to have so many lumens per square foot wherever you were at any of the shop. What about the air compressor in detail? The air compressor was up against the back wall. That one was not in question at the time. They were saying it came from the van that was parked in there. So, yeah. Even though that air compressor was a pretty crappy one. Will I do a tool giveaway at some point? Well, tonight I am going to do a giveaway. Now, whether you guys want to consider it a tool giveaway or not, not maybe, possibly something to that extent, but I am going to be doing at least a little bit of a giveaway too. That was kind of getting into my next point of contact for what I was wanting to talk to tonight. If you guys see me in a lot of videos, especially different live streams and stuff that I would do during the day, if I was doing any videos throughout the day, you see that I have AirPods in quite often. Or if you guys know me, you know that I wear AirPods all the time. And that is one of the things that I have for ear protection throughout the day. The newer Apple AirPods, they have a sound canceling availability to where it allows sound to pass through if you put it into pass-through mode. However, if certain noises from the outside go above so many decibels, it shuts off that pass-through mode, and they are more of noise canceling headphones at that time. So if old Captain Ron decides to get out his big old BA air jack hammer and starts pounding away on some rusty control arms right next to me, then my AirPods shut things off and it goes into kind of a safety mode for that one. And that's what it goes into for that one. So talking about that, I was also sent something by a company to be able to test out some of their products. And it was one of those things where, yes, it worked fantastically, but it really just wasn't right for me. That was mostly because of the shop that I work in. I was given these here plug phones to be able to try, and Bluetooth audio. The sound on them was pretty decent. They weren't, $280, $300 AirPods or anything like that, but they definitely worked. The problem with what I had with these was they worked almost too well. They were noise canceling, and how they sealed inside of my ears, they worked great. But the bad thing that I had was I wasn't able to hear the PA system in our shop call my name very often. I often had, while I was testing these out, I had some guys say, "Hey, he called you up to the service drive like 2 or 3 minutes ago." So I'm like, "Wait, what? He did?" Yeah, they definitely called. Went up there, sure enough. So I had these things in, and I really wasn't able to hear much because I was listening to tunes throughout the day. And me personally, I always find that if I'm able to listen to music throughout the day, it just helps the day kind of move and roll on a whole lot better. So that's one of those things where it's just something I like to wear throughout the day. So with these, they ended up working fantastic. They are Bluetooth to your phone or whatever. They also have the little dongle button here that has the call button, hang up, receive, and also volume buttons as well onto there. Plug phones, they're available through the Wrenching Network, and that link is going to be in the description. If you guys, I am going to give a set of these away. So these are their Bluetooth kind. So they offered to do some giveaway stuff with me. So I tried them. They work too good. So for you guys who are, I could tie the PA to my earbuds. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So for you guys who have shops where you don't really have to get called over the PA system and you're able to just kind of drown things out, these might be for you. They also gave me a couple of their smaller design kinds. Whoop, throwing things across the computer here. And these are non-Bluetooth ones. These just plug into the sound jack on your phone. Not if you have an iPhone. I guess you have to have the adapter thing for those. But I have a pair of those. Those are also safety certified, ANSI certified rated. So this is one of the first ones where they are actually certified and safety rated for shops and technician, and are ANSI rated right there. So one of the first ones that I had actually tested, noise reduction rating, able to reduce things up to 29 to 30 decibels. Pretty cool. It also does come with a couple of different earpieces that come in here to the kit as well. So I'm going to give away the set of Bluetooth ones. I'm also going to give away the 2 sets of the plug-in style ones for you guys as well. And we'll do a little bit of a giveaway on that one. If you guys don't end up winning, they are available for purchase. We're going to put it up right here at the Wrenching Network. They also sell a couple of other really cool things. If you guys end up going to them, they ended up helping me out with this one. So they made a coupon code for all of my subscribers and everything who are coming on here. They sell everything from those. They've got different, they have these Rejuvenation Packages, which for you guys who like to party hard too, these things are fantastic for hangovers. Just add these into like a bottle of water. All kinds of electrolytes, hydration system. So those are pretty cool. And they also sell beef jerky, both in this version as well as brisket. And I'm telling you what, if you guys are beef jerky fans, the brisket that they have, dude, it's something off the chain. It is some of the best stuff. And unfortunately, I don't have any to show on the stream tonight, and that's because I might have ate all of it while I was at work, and I don't even have a bag to be able to show you guys. But their brisket that they have is beyond any other beef jerky that I've ever tasted. So if you use code Rustbelt right there in, we'll just put that one, use code Rustbelt for 10% off at that website. We'll put the website in there again. It's also going to be in the description of this video. But anyways, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give away these 3 sets of those. Somebody said, ooh, I'll take the beef jerky. You know what, Hathead, because you've been an awesome guy too. You know what, we're going to throw in some beef jerky with it too. I don't have any of the brisket left over. I wish I had some of that for that one. But I will give away a thing of beef jerky in with each one of these 2. So we'll say with that one. So we'll do our first giveaway now, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll do another one. So how I'm going to do this one. Right now, there are 37 people in the chat right now. So we're going to be drawing a number. People don't start putting numbers into the chat quite yet. But I'm going to write down a number on here, and I'll wait 2 minutes or so, and I'll have you guys type in one number per person, put it in there, and whoever has the closest to it at the end will win that one. Then you guys can email me your information afterwards. So we're going to write down a number 1 through 100. 1 through 100. And you guys are going to guess that one. I have the number written down, and you guys can go ahead and start putting the numbers in. Whoever gets the number or gets closest to the number, I guess, here in the next 2 minutes will be the winner. And I'm going by what my screen says. So if you guys see things out of track or whatever, I'm keeping track for the number that I wrote down on this piece of paper right here. I have not seen it yet. And I'll give that person the choice of which one of these things they want to get on this one. Haven't seen it yet. Guys, keep on going. Nope. I say you guys can go ahead and put in different numbers because there's only like 36 people in here. So feel free to put in different numbers, and whoever ends up getting the number first can win 1 through 100. Nope, it has not been guessed yet. Somebody's been very close, but they have not guessed it yet. Oh, come on, guys. Like, you don't want to win or anything. Oh, geez, now it's flying. You guys start spamming, it's going to get you. Yeah, you can't type them in that fast. There it is. Nathan K. Number 76. That was the first person to put in number 76. Nathan K. is the winner of the first drawing. Excuse me. So, Nathan K., since you are in here, do you want the headphones that you plug in with some beef jerky, or do you want the Bluetooth set with some beef jerky? Fill me in. Let me know. Let's hear about it. You want the wireless one. So, wireless ones right here going to my buddy Nathan K. I also have a thing of beef jerky that's going to come to you as well. Let me write this one down so I don't forget, because my memory is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Please hold. Please hold. Yep. So we've got Nathan K. One on the Bluetooth and beef jerky. And Nathan, I just need you after the show to either email me at therustbeltmechanic@gmail.com or message me over on Instagram, please. Yes, send me one over on Instagram. I would appreciate that. So we'll do another 2 giveaways with this one also. Sean brings up a good, different idea here. Any luck on my Capri tool comparison? So, Capri Tools said that they were going to send me a set of the swivel 1/2-inch impact sockets. I never received them. I have not received them. So it might end up coming to the point I go on vacation here this next week. So I'm not going to be buying a whole bunch of stuff coming up through that, at least until I get back. But after that, if I still have not received them, I will be purchasing the Capri Tool ones to be able to compare to. I'm doing a comparison on swivel 1/2-inch impacts. I've got the really stupid expensive Snap-on set that I'm doing a comparison to. I also have the pinless X-Core design 1/2-inch swivels from brain fart, sorry, from Gear Wrench. So I've been trying those out. I give each one of the sets like 2 weeks straight, where I'll use them a solid 2 weeks in the shop, use those through, and then I'll switch sets. So I use the Snap-on set first, and then over the last 2 weeks, I've been using the Gear Wrench X-Core design. So I've used those right there. Did that one, and so I use those. So now the next one I want to do, I'm going to go through and get I want to get the Capri ones to try. I've also been told that I need to do a set from Astro Pneumatic. So just one of those things. I hope they do, Hathead. I really do. I've been telling SP for a long time. I said, hey, especially, I started hounding them, I think, last year. Well, when I went to SEMA, I said, you guys really, really need to come out with some of these swivel impacts. And their CEO, which is from Australia, said, in the however many years or anything, we have not had any full hearty requests for that one. I'm like, really? Yeah. So No, pretty much they haven't. So I hope they look into that here really soon, because I would have loved to be able to throw those into the hat to be able to do that on that comparison, but they have not. Ryan Boris, yes, I have that in my reminders list because I'm going over to my storage unit where that stuff is at tomorrow. So I'll be looking for those tomorrow, and I will let you know right there. Look at Everyday Fleet Tech coming in with another random OSHA fact. Bench grinder work rest must be within 1/8 inch of grinding wheel and the tongue 1/4 inch of the wheel. So that's your little safety grinding rest. And don't forget, you do have to have the dust shield or the shield to it also. Yep, Nathan, I just saw come through. I just did get the message on that one. All right, so next one, are we going to start up the Toolheads crates again? Unfortunately, as of right now, that one is a no. COVID-19 pretty much killed Toolheads crate. We were not able to get any of the supplies, any of our boxes that we had, the tools that we were wanting to get into the crates. The suppliers were not making them. They're not giving any discounts of any kind, even if we were ordering so many of them. So it pretty much killed it. So unfortunately, at least for the foreseeable future, the Toolheads crates are pretty much done. So Hathead, he's lucky. He got to go and check out the SP Tools actual warehouse and everything down south. I haven't even been there yet. I haven't even got to see what they're working with or anything like that. And I've been working with SP Tools and a lot of their stuff for the last year and a half. Yeah, I haven't even made it down that way yet. Heck, I'm helping them work on with their designs on their newest toolboxes, which if you guys haven't seen last Sunday's live stream, you need to go back through and watch that because super exciting what they're coming out with, new toolboxes and everything for what SP is coming out with for professional series toolboxes. Utility knives used for household use are not OSHA approved in the shop. Yeah, I could definitely believe that one. So what about use of your gloves in the shop? I know that I have a set of neoprene gloves on all the time, latex gloves, whatever ones you guys like to use. I have those on quite often, but that's also because in our shop, hand soap and everything costs a lot more. And the gloves also keep us from touching customers' vehicles, getting them too dirty. Even prior to the COVID stuff happening, we would wear gloves while working on the car and then take them off to be able to get into a customer's car so we didn't dirty them up with any kind of grease or anything like that from the repair prior to, because, even if one of our shop guys comes up and says, "Oh, I washed my hands after that job." Yeah, they wash their hands like a 3-year-old and they've got, grease and dirt up their elbows. So, I'm like, really? We need to have hand washing lessons now. So it was just, horrible right there. So we have gloves available to pretty much everybody in the shop, and we definitely recommend that the technicians right now wear them anytime they are inside of a customer's vehicle. Anytime you are in and out of the vehicles, if you're going constantly back and forth, yeah, I guess we recommend, we went through a whole session recommending, to be able to use them in this way, use them correctly. If you decide that you're going to step away, go to the parts counter, use the restroom, leave the shop area floor, you need to throw those gloves away if they've been inside of a customer's vehicle. Throwing them away because we have plenty of the gloves. We don't need to have guys going in and out from all around the place. So that's what we definitely recommend for our guys to do at least. So what about you guys? Do you wear gloves in around the shop? Is it a preference on you? Or I know there's a whole lot of the older guys who work in our shop that they said, you know what? I don't like wearing gloves at all. So they don't. And I can't say that I blame him, because if that's one of the ways that they were brought up, that gloves, you don't need those. They're just bitch mittens. Slater Mountain Biking, what's going on, man? Everyday Fleet Tech says he has gloves on when he's working on pretty much about anything. Not a requirement in Roadrunner shop. Yep. So it's kind of cool to see all the differences in what they were showing there. Read back through a couple of these. Now, see, Hathead, I have not even been privy yet to that tool. Showing their new ideas on that specific light. They told me about it, but I have not seen any of it either. So hopefully that's something cool that's going to be coming out here in the very near future. They're talking about having a UV sterilization light for the inside of vehicles. That'll be kind of a game changer in what this COVID stuff is going on with right now, to be able to semi-sterilize insides of vehicles. Hate getting oil and coolant on my hands. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, is coolant. So it doesn't bother me. Rear end grease doesn't bother me. Transmission fluid doesn't bother me. You know, it's anything, whatever, here and there. Oil, nothing at all. But coolant. If I get coolant in between my fingers, especially if I'm wearing a ring or something, it gets in between that bugs the living daylights out of me. I absolutely cannot stand the feeling of coolant in between my fingers. It is just, it's the worst feeling ever to have that in between your hands. So that is the one thing that I make sure that I do. Now, there might be a couple of other little fixes or stuff, like if I'm doing an EGR service or anything like that. Brake clean doesn't really do anything in my hands, whatever. So if I get dirty, muddy, greasy, whatever in the hood, spray it off, whatever, clean it off, go to the sink. No big deal. But anytime I am going to touch anything with coolant, anything that has to do with coolant, even if I'm topping off a cooling system, I got gloves on because I absolutely hate the feeling of coolant. No, it will bug you more when you're working on aircraft interiors and get tons of fiberglass. Oh man, that sucks even worse. Oh, I hate the feeling of fiberglass. So I actually deal with fiberglass quite a bit. The conversion vans that our dealership works with, they pad their walls in standard home fiberglass. It is like the thinner version of it. So it's only like two inches thick, something like that. And that's what they stuff down into their walls and everything for sound deadening, as well as keeping heat and cool into the vans as well. So we work with a lot of that fiberglass. It is horrible. Absolutely horrible stuff. Exactly, Nathan. I hate the feeling of coolant in my hands. Now, I don't have a problem with that or the smell of anything. The smell of diesel fuel and everything doesn't bother me. There's some people that just say, I absolutely can't stand the smell of gasoline or diesel fuel. It gives me a headache. Even if I get the slightest bit on my hands, I smell it for the next 3 days. It really doesn't bother me. Nothing at all like coolant does. Yeah, it's just horrible. All right, you know what? Let's do another giveaway. Let's give away another one of our plug phones. These are ones that you're just going to plug in, standard jack plug phones. They are ANSI rated, certified, so they are fancy, whatever. So they're going to block out a lot of the sound. And of course, I'm going to give away some beef jerky along with it too. So we're going to talk about doing this other giveaway. I'm going to think of a number between 1 and 100. Don't start guessing yet. Let's think of a number. Let's see. Got the number. So, start right now. Giveaway. Go. First person to get the number between 1 and 100 wins the plug phones and a thing of beef jerky. Okay, I guess I can't really start singing that because I'll probably get demonetized on this one. Nope, no numbers yet. Don't guess too many times too fast. It won't come through. Just be careful. No numbers yet. So close, so close. Still rolling. Man, that's pretty good. I'm picking good numbers tonight. Ones that I guess are not very guessable. Yeah, it's been good numbers tonight. Keep going. Because I haven't seen it yet. You guys want these plug phones. There it is. Keith Burleson, number 2, was the number I wrote down 2. Keith Burleson. That was the guess. First person to say number 2. He said 02. So, Keith Burleson. I'm going to write this one down. You ever have one of those songs stuck in your head from what your kids were watching throughout the day? They watched in this one show, We Bare Bears. Stupid songs stuck in my head. Keith Burleson. So, Keith, make sure either now or after the live stream is done, either message me over on Instagram. You can find me over there, Rustbelt Mechanic, or you can email me at therustbeltmechanic@gmail.com. Nathan, I'm going to delete you off of here. Everyday Fleet Tech U, if you start getting into the Baby Shark crap. And don't mess with me, I'll do it. Don't even start with me today. All right, that one's done. Given away. We've got one more left. We'll do here shortly. Don't even start on it. Knew a guy at work came in to sing in an excavator. It for a week. Why do you name your channel Rustbelt? Well, A, I live in the Rust Belt of the United States. It is the area of Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. We get all kinds of rust here, but in the good old days of the automotive manufacturing, when the manufacturing started crumbling and going down, went through the whole big boom of the 70s, and then all of a sudden you get into the 1980s. They had a huge falling out, and a lot of the automotive manufacturers in Ohio, Michigan, PA, Indiana, all started shutting down all of their massive plants and massive factories. All of their factory areas all began to rust and crumble and deteriorate. So pretty much all of the people who were affected in the areas of mass production and distribution from the automotive industry who came to a crumbling halt in the 80s, that is considered the Rust Belt of it. So, yes, Massachusetts is in the rust area, but I don't know if it's considered the Rust Belt to the original term of being part of the automotive manufacturing heart that kind of died off in the 80s. Currently making the inventory of the factories in the Rust Belt. Oh, I about guarantee that one. We use a lot of Canadian parts for a lot of the vehicles that we use anymore. One, because a lot of the parts that we get from Mexico doesn't make it up so well anymore. So a lot of that and the tax breaks that the U.S. government is pretty much giving is not going to plants that are moving stuff into Mexico anymore. How do you feel about people just stopping in to talk to you, service manager, about getting a job in the shop? I mean, we are more than open to it, Fork in Life, because in the area that we work in, the technician shortage is so high that we cannot find good working technicians in our area who are at least Semi-capable, certified would be preferable, but we take somebody who knows how to install a master cylinder properly and probably bleed a newer brake system. Why don't we start my own shop? That is something that I would absolutely love to do. However, with how I'm working right now, the dealership knows exactly what my capabilities are, and they definitely keep me busy and keep me paid fairly well for the kind of stuff that I do in my shop. I do a lot of specialty work with Ram Pro Masters, a lot of diesel work. I also am certified in transmission and also do work on conversion vans, which you can't find anybody to do anymore either. Scan tool for brakes? What? Yeah, tech shortages are massive. Definitely. Fun fact. Here we go. Everyday fleet tech facts. Oily rags should not be left on the floor or sitting around when not in use. They must be stored in an OSHA compliant container. It has to be OSHA compliant. It has to have a flap on it. It has to be sealed in some way. We have one of those. It is a requirement. Good questions tonight, guys. Hathead, how do I feel about ASEs? I've avoided them because I've never thought they meant anything. I've been a technician for 18 years and still think they're pretty useless. Well, growing up in the industry and then coming into fruition as I went through the CAT programs and everything like that, I thought they were absolutely necessary. I always tell the newer and the younger guys in the industry, the most training and the most certification that you can get earlier on leads to better, I guess, positioning of where you are going in the industry. It leads to you working up the ladder, whether it's in a shop, whether it's in a dealership or anything like that. So I always recommend to guys to go and take their ASEs. That will at least give them, in their green aspect to it, that will at least give them ideas of what kind of things that they need to look for, and they need to train with how the industry is turning. ASEs do keep fairly up to date with how the industry sees a lot of the vehicles coming through that need repaired. Obviously, there are no questions on there anymore from whether you have to set the dwell or on the points that you just put into an ignition system, because those don't exist anymore by any means. So you also have to be very electrically savvy to be able to pass just about anything. If you can pass the electrical part of the ASEs, you can also pass the AC. You can also pass the transmission. A lot of the brake stuff is pretty well dialed in there. The diesel things also pretty highly electric in that aspect as well. The only one that really isn't is going to be steering and suspension, and that one's going to be a lot of NVH stuff. So just keep an eye on that one. However, right now, where I'm at in my career, been doing this for 12 years now, the necessity of it is not so necessary anymore. The only thing that I get out of doing my ASEs, which I still have, because I don't know if it's just habit or, I just like to see them or whatever. I have all of my ASEs, including my L1, which is your advanced diagnostics. So I've had those for a while now. I think I've had my L1 for about 6 years now. So I've had those, but the only thing that I don't get right now is it doesn't give me much of anything in the dealership that I work at. That you don't get any bonuses for it. The only thing literally that I get for taking any ASEs right now through Chrysler is I get an extra 175 Chrysler points at the end of the year for my certifications, which I can use to purchase Chrysler gear on the Q1 of the following year. So each year with all your training and certifications, you earn points through Chrysler, which isn't very much. The salesman, they sell 3 cars and they earn what you make in your points for an entire year. So it's not much at all, but it's enough to get like a jacket, maybe a koozie, something like that. So my ASEs get me one extra jacket or certification tag per year and a pat on the back. That's what they get. 150 points does not get you very much. Not at all. Ask a Chrysler guy. It does not. So at the end of the year, I end up getting right at 680 is what a L1 Master Certified Technician makes at the end of the year, being certified in absolutely everything on Chrysler's side of things. A fairly decent jacket on the Chrysler side of stuff. When you go to reclaim your points, costs like 350 or 400 points. So you get like a jacket, a hat, and maybe a couple of koozies. That's about what I get. See, now that's a bonus you need. His ASE is getting $5 more an hour at work. $5 more per hour. Man, that's horrible. And so my shop, they do pay, I guess in some way, for me to go and get my ASEs. I have to pay for them. But if I pass them, they reimburse me my full amount as well as any time that I have to take off to go and take them. But if I don't pass the ASEs, then we go back and I am just out all that money and time also. Yeah. AMP lasts a lifetime. You get a pay raise. Come over to the dark side. Yep. Your local aircraft mechanic, that is very insightful to that. And I have seen that. What is ASE? Here in the United States, at least, ASE is a standardized testing and certification platform that is put forward to pretty much any technicians or mechanics can take that, as long as they have 2 years experience into the automotive industry, verified through work history at whatever shops. Then you can actually earn the ASEs. You go and take tests, and if you pass those tests, you get higher than 80%. Then you pretty much get a little badge that says, bam, you are ASE certified technician in this area, split between brakes, steering, suspension, engine mechanical, engine performance and fuel, brakes. Yeah, there's a couple other ones. There's 8 main areas in that one, as well as your L1 certification for advanced engine diagnostics. FedEx pays their AMPs after 5 years, $45 an hour. Man, that is crazy. That's like 2.5 times as much that I make right now, at least. That's awesome. Yeah. Being a mechanic is still fun, though. It still does pay all my bills and gives me a nice life, even though $63 an hour sounds pretty insanely awesome. Anyways, we're getting down to about the closing time of the live stream chat on this one, and we still have one more set of plug phones and a beef jerky to be able to give away on this live stream here. So, yes, this one is still a plugged-in version of the plug phone, so if you don't want that one, please do not enter into this part of the live stream. Let's see, numbers. We're going to go to 1 through 100. I'm going to pick a number again. All right, lucky number is chosen. And go. Start with your guesses. 1 through 100 to win the last set of plug phones and some beef jerky. I picked a good one again, guys. It's not any of the normal ones. I'm feeling it. This one was a really good one. I haven't seen it yet. Somebody asked a question way up there. I didn't catch it. You might have to ask it again here shortly. There's a lot of numbers flying through. Not seen it. 199. It's only 1 through 100. Just letting you know. Still not seeing it. Man, these safety things got you guys' brains all twisted up and stuff in here. There it is. Hothead Auto said 91. 91 was the number, zoom it, that I wrote down. Hothead Auto was the winner. He was the very first one on the list to say number 91. Hothead Auto, foe to win. Hothead Auto gets wired ones and beef jerky, because who doesn't like some beef jerky? And I'm telling you what, seriously, the beef jerky that these guys have on their site, the brisket, if you guys are beef jerky lovers, you really need to go check it out, because it is like the best beef jerky I have ever had in my life. That's the website that it's offered through. Again, you can use code Rustbelt at checkout. Gets you 10% off. They were cool enough to get a nice coupon code for the subscribers there. So if anybody didn't win, you are able to get those plug phones in either way, shape, or form on there. The Bluetooth ones run like $121. I want to say these are like $20 or $30, something like that. So that one is available on there too, as well as the Hangover, goes in one bottle of water kind of stuff. Those are available over there too. I haven't tried out a whole lot of their other stuff, but I don't know. You guys can go and check that one out too. All right. Well, that's about all I've got for this evening. I wasn't really wanting to run a really long show tonight for anything like that. And we've got a final random fact from Everyday Fleet Tech coming in. Random fact: fire cabinets should have a minimum of 3 feet between each other. Is that fire cabinets as in you put your flammable stuff inside of these cabinets? Or is that what I've heard people consider where the fire extinguishers were hanging fire cabinets? Is that the flammable things? But anyways, great information, especially flammable storage. Okay. Everyday Fleet Tech, he is actually one of those certified guys who that is his job, to get the standardized things for safeties in his shop correct. Otherwise, I'm sure there would be heavy repercussions to a lot of those things. Well, like I said, guys, I'm just wanting to keep it a short, sweet show tonight, be able to get some of these things in for you, as well as give you a couple of cool little things, giveaways tonight for all the guys who did win the giveaways. Don't forget to send me either a message on Instagram or an email over at therustbeltmechanic@gmail.com. So, Prudence, the safety goat. Nice. I like that one. Very nice. I like that one. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already tonight. We've got some really cool stuff coming up this week on the shop. Look at Dick Skinner coming in late. Sorry, Dick. You missed some of the giveaways tonight, buddy. We gave away some pretty cool stuff. Had some really good times. Tip me $50. I didn't see anything. Anyways, like I said, lots of cool stuff coming up on the channel this week. I have one video more done with the Cadillac. Ended up doing some steering work on it. Replaced a steering wheel speed sensor. Say that 10 times fast. Put that one into the Cadillac, as well as did a nice alignment to it. And we're going to do another episode on the accessories that normal people purchased usually when they get their new vehicle, even though it's not really new, but new to them. So we're going to go through a couple of those things. Also this week, I'm going to be recording a couple of extra things on top of that. I'm going to be recording my big video on my views on the top ratchets that professional technicians use. I have one of the best ratchets from all three of the main ones that everybody uses, from Mac, Matco, and Snap-on. I've been using and testing these out. I even found a Mac dealer, which is not in my area at all. And I have been using these ratchets for a better part of a month now to be able to get a feel and differences of what the pluses and minuses are of these ratchets. So I will be doing a review video, or my preference video, on these three ratchets. I'm not going to be going into anything too big. Like, I'm not going to be breaking the ratchets. I'm not going to be putting them to a torture test on, hey, this one breaks the head at 240 foot-pounds or anything like that. I'm not going to be doing that. I am basing this off of my personal use in hand, in actual I can't even talk tonight, sorry, in actual shop practices for these three different ratchets. 3/8, they're 3/8 just hand ratchets, flex head, soft grip, locking flex heads. So we all know where Everyday Fleet Tech says he doesn't like Matco very much because he's extra salty, but that's okay. Everybody has their preferences. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some recording with some extra stuff this week because the following week I'm going to be going on vacation and won't be able to do very much of any videos that week because I'm not going on a family vacation and won't be around. So hopefully I'll get enough recorded for you guys to enjoy. I will catch in and do a live stream. Me and the captain will be going live from the Outer Banks here in 2 weeks. So keep that one in mind too. How does the Axis locking flex heads work in comparison to Snappy or Matco? So you'll see in that review. I definitely do go in depth with all of my different opinions and views from there. Exactly, Hothead. I'm hoping to be able to go down there and see the big old SP Tools headquarters, hopefully sometime this summer. We'll see about that one. You'll have to stay tuned for that. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Been awesome hanging out with you guys. As always, you guys stay awesome.